this is going to be a requested video from one of my viewers. He was asking me to do a video on my ideal custom mode as far as modes on these cars. I'll pull over and read his comment, and then I'll put his comment up. But today it is 95 degrees, so I wanted to do a dedicated street mode video like how I said I was going to do, but it's just too hot out. 95, now it's 94 degrees here in Texas at 3:26 p.m. So definitely not a day to be doing any type of spirited driving. Just going to get robbed of performance because it's too hot out and I'm going to get that heat soak. So I'll have to wait till it's cooler out to do that video that I've been wanting to do. Let me just back in and we'll talk. So in this video, I'm just going to keep it pretty brief and talk about what my actual ideal custom mode is. So let's just read his comment. All right, so he asked me to do a video of what your ideal custom mode looks like. All right, and then I wrote, I got you. So just to go into what my ideal custom mode is. Right now I'm in automatic mode, but let's just go into custom and I'll talk to you about what I've chosen as my actual custom mode that I like to use when I want to drive with some aggression or if I want to have a little fun. So of course the power is in 717. My custom mode, I like to have the transmission in track. I like to have the paddle shifters off. I like to have the traction on street, the suspension on street, and the steering on track. And to explain that in better terms, of course I want my transmission to be in track. I want that full track experience. But when I have this car in track in my custom mode, I don't want my paddle shifters being on. And I keep it like that because if I ever let somebody drive the car and I put them in custom mode and they don't know how to use paddle shifters, they're already off. So I don't have to worry about them accidentally hitting one here. All right, and then I want my traction to be in street. So I want traction to be fully on. When it's on street, it's fully on. So once again, if someone is driving my car for the first time and I double tap this SRT button real fast, 1, 2, it goes right to your custom modes. If you didn't know that, that's a trick. Most of you probably know it, some of you probably didn't. But I want this person who has never driven my car before to be in street traction, all right, so they can have the most protection. The suspension I want in street also, so it can be the softest. And the reason why I do that is because when you have this suspension in track, it firms up. When you have it in street, it's also fairly firm. But when you put the suspension in street, it is the softest suspension setting that you can go to. The car will be able to squat more to be able to put that power down on the rear wheels and then propel this car forward so you can launch better on a road race or from a dig. And of course, I've talked about it numerous times. These cars are not cars to race from a dig. These Hellcats, they are road racing cars. So that's pretty much why I have the suspension set to street so it can squat. And then I want my steering to be in track to whereas, the steering is firm, it's tight, all right, it doesn't move like this so much. So that's why I have my steering in track. All of these put together to me is a recipe for success when it comes to getting off the line if you're just trying to race this car from a dig, even though you shouldn't. These cars, to me, these Chargers are not really dig racing cars, all right? They are road racing cars. The 262 gears really starts to pull up top, so that's where you get that incredible acceleration when you're up top in these Hellcats. So that is why my custom is set up like this. As you can see, track, paddle shifters are off, traction street, suspension street, and then steering is in track. And like I said, that to me is one of the best setups to have if you really want this car to perform at a high level when you are trying to race somebody, or if you're going to a track, or if you want to just get the best performance. A lot of people keep the car in track all the way down and it stiffens up everything and the car can't squat as properly. Like if you have your suspension in track, if you go like right here and you see everything is track all the way down, this is for when you're at the track and you want to be on a road course and you want to try to see if you can get a good time. But as far as keeping this car like this to roll race someone, it's not really the best settings. So let me just run in real fast. Let me run into CVS and I'll come back out and we'll finish talking. All right, so came to one of my spots to finish this video off. And just to touch back on the topic, when you are in custom mode, you are in your settings that you customize. I just want to have clarity, if you want to race someone and you feel you want to have the best settings, you want your traction to not be in street, you want your traction to be in sports. All right, so you can have less of the computer braking and electronically braking your wheels when tires start to spin. So you want to have your transmission, of course, in track. You can have your paddle shifters on or off. Traction, instead of having it in street, how I have set up, you can put your traction in sport. And your suspension, you want to keep in street. I would say definitely keep that in street, so you can squat more, so the suspension can be the softest and the car can squat better, allowing you to be able to put that power down. And of course, your steering, I like to have it in track, so you can have better control of your steering, so it's not moving around so much. So hopefully that helped. My guy that asked me, or I'm sure it was a guy who asked me, that is my custom settings. Like I said, I like to have my suspension in, I like to have my traction in streets just for me, but if I was racing someone, it's better to have that in sport, so you can really get off the line. Let me just get out and close this video out. All right, way too bright out here, but let's just see how this works. But like I said, today is extremely hot. It's 95 plus degrees, so I cannot really do that street mode video that I really want to do. With it being this hot out, I want it to cool down. I need these temperatures to be a lot cooler so I can get on this car. But until then, we'll just have to do some videos where I'm talking like this. So that is going to do it for this upload. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.